So on Friday we watched the movie Finding Dory, and we got to see all kinds of little sea creatures. So by show of hands, who remembers at least one type of sea creature that we saw in the movie? Let's see, Daniel. Good, clownfish. Both Nemo and his dad are clownfish. Okay, what's another kind of creature that we saw? Let's ask Tiffany. Okay, Tiffany, what else did you see? Good, sea otters. They were really cute, weren't they? Okay, so does anybody remember what the character Hank was? What kind of creature was Hank? Let's ask Rick. Good, he was an octopus. Now, do you guys remember how many legs that an octopus has? Okay, let's ask Charlie. Charlie, how many legs does an octopus have? Good, they have 8 legs, and those legs are called tentacles. And their tentacles have little suction cups on them that help them stick onto rocks and walls. All right, so we're going to be continuing on with our marine unit. And to do so, we're going to start by looking at this book, Octopus Alone, by Divya Srinivasan. So this week we're going to start talking about how different creatures have different features that help them survive in their environment. And since we're going to be talking about marine animals, we're going to be talking about the things that allowed them to live in the water. So before we start the book, I want to point out 3 different words that you might be a little unfamiliar with, okay? So our 3 vocab terms. And my printer's not printing in color, guys, so I'm really sorry. The pictures aren't as great as I hoped they would be. But one of the words that we're going to encounter in the book is the word crevice. Now, a crevice is a narrow opening in a rock or a wall. So if you ever see like a little crack in like a wall, especially like a brick wall, that's a crevice. And there's lots of them in the oceans. And in the oceans, a lot of different animals like to hide in them. And then another word that we're going to come across today, which if you ever saw the first Finding Nemo, you might know this word. It's anemone. And an anemone is a brightly colored sea creature that looks like a flower. And it has tentacles, kind of like an octopus. And they often live on rocks. And now clownfish live in these. So again, if you saw the first Finding Nemo, you'll probably have heard that word because I know they said it quite a bit. And the third vocab term is algae. Now, if you've ever been boating, do you ever see the little green stuff that's on rocks or the green stuff that sticks to the bottom of boats? That's algae. So algae are a type of plant-like living things that make food from sunlight. They aren't technically plants, but they do get their food from sunlight, and they almost always live in the water, or they live just somewhere really, really damp and moist. So now that we have the vocab terms out of the way, let's go ahead and start reading Octopus Alone. Now, I want you guys to really be looking for different characteristics about the octopus that help them survive, okay? So be looking for things like what they eat. Be looking for things like where do they live, like what kinds of places do they like to hide in, live in. Think about their defense mechanisms. So how do they defend themselves from predators, okay? Do they fight their predators off? Do they run away from their predators? So I want you to be looking for all of these things, okay? Because I want you to try to learn as much about an octopus from this book as you can. Okay, so the opening pages have different types of fish, okay? And I'm going to have this book out, so if you guys ever want to come look at this book, you guys are more than welcome to. It's got some really, really good drawings in it, and you can learn the names of all different types of fish. Okay. Octopus Alone. So, okay. Octopus lay hidden in her cozy cave, enjoying the scene outside. Turtle chased squid. Squid chased shrimp. And the puffer was getting nervous with all of the chasing going on. The octopus saw the seahorses bobbing along outside. One little one peeked in, then another, and another. The seahorses found Octopus fascinating, but she was shy and did not like to be noticed. So there you go, octopi are shy. She tried to shoo them away, but they thought she was playing, so they played too. I give up, Octopus sighed. Squeezing out of her cave, she crawled into the garden. So, right there. Okay, where does the octopus live? Okay, the word is right there. Good, she lives in a cave. A lot of octopus like to hide in little caves and they live there. Okay. She changed colors just like that and disappeared. The seahorses swam away, wondering where she'd gone. So, can you guys find the octopus on these pages? Good, she's over here, right? So she's changed her color so that she's not as noticeable, right? She was orange before, right? Let's go see that. Yeah, so on this page, she's orange. And on the next page, she's a bluish green. So that's something that octopus can do. They can change their colors to blend in with their surroundings so other fish and creatures don't notice them. Sea snakes slithered in and out of holes. Among the swaying anemones, baby dominoes played hide and seek, while clownfish chased butterflies. Tiny fish ate algae, there's a vocab word algae, from a big fish's scales, leaving them sparkling clean. Octopus was about to pounce on a juicy lobster when she saw the little seahorses coming her way. So, why do you guys think that the octopus was going to pounce on a little lobster? Let's ask Amanda. Amanda, why do you think the octopus was going to pounce on the lobster? Good, she was going to eat the lobster. That's one of the things that octopus eat. They eat lobsters. All right, continuing on. She went perfectly still. The lucky lobster slid into a crevice. So the little lobster hid in a crevice that was too small for her to get into. When the seahorses weren't disturbing her, they were delightful to watch. They wiggled and twirled, and one even did somersaults. It looked like so much fun. It was hard for Octopus to keep still, but she did, and the merry seahorses moved on. So again, she's changed her color again, so the seahorses can't find her. Octopus crept over to a thicket of stars, so they mean starfish. Jellyfish drifted past and headed beyond the reef. Where do they go? She gazed at the shimmering shapes. Suddenly, she had a funny feeling. The seahorses were staring. For how long, she wondered. She inked the water to hide her blushing and took off. She wanted to get away, far from goggling eyes. So, she sprayed ink here, okay? So octopus have this ability where they can spray ink into the water so that other animals can't see them swim away. It makes the water really cloudy and dark, okay? That's one of the things that they're most known for. I think squid also do it. After a while, she spied something interesting. A box full of delicious crabs. So not only does she eat lobster, she eats crabs too. Octopus squished herself into the cage, but the crabs began pinching. So remember when we watched Finding Dory the other day and Hank's able to squeeze into super tight places, right? So here, because she's able to make herself so small, she's able to fit inside the crab trap. She fiddled with the door, and it opened. Out tumbled the frantic crabs. Octopus was about to grab a few when she had another funny feeling. A hungry eel was about to strike. Octopus squirted a cloud of ink and swam, and swam, and swam. When she finally stopped, she was far beyond the reef. Here the water was gloriously empty. No one watching, no one to hide from. Whale's song rose faintly from the deep. Octopus remembered the dancing seahorses. She wiggled, she twirled, she even did a somersault. She was so happy to be alone. Then she felt a rumbling in the waters below. A whale surged past, up and out of the water. Octopus nestled into a nook and found herself in a cave, much like her own, except this one was away from everyone and everything. The whale crashed back down, leaving a magnificent storm of bubbles. The whale song faded into the distance until all was quiet. Exhausted, Octopus fell asleep. When Octopus awoke, she went outside. A lone jellyfish drifted by. No one was around to disturb her in this wonderful, quiet place. But after some time, she began thinking about the lively reef with its graceful anemones and slinking sea snakes. Most of all, she wondered what the seahorses were up to. "I'd better go home and find out," she said, hurrying along. When Octopus reached the reef, one little seahorse welcomed her home, then another, and another. Octopus was glad to be back with her friends. So, now we just read about Octopus and how she ventured far from her home and then ended up back with her friends. So, I want to ask you guys a few questions about the story, okay? So, let's ask Letitia, where did the octopus live? Do you remember what kind of home she lives in? Good, she lives in a cave, and that cave is probably in a coral reef, okay? Okay, now, again, we asked this question earlier, but I just want to clarify again with someone. What about Amy? How many tentacles does an octopus have? Good, and that wasn't from the reading, although you can count her tentacles in each of the pages if you go through it. But that's something that we remembered from watching the movie the other week, okay? So, something from the book. What do they eat? Let's ask Sylvia. Good, they eat lobsters and crabs, right? Because she was chasing the lobsters down and she was trying to get the crabs out of the trap. All right. So when the octopus got scared, how did she defend herself or get away? What did she do? Tony. Good, so she inked and got away from the predators or from the thing she was scared of. What else did she do? There's one other thing that she's able to do when she doesn't want predators to see her. Good, she changes her color. Yeah, that's camouflage. All right, so class, now you guys are going to be making your own octopus, okay? I've laid out a whole bunch of construction paper. You can make it as big or as small as you want, but there's a catch. You guys have to write 2 paragraphs answering the prompt. What traits and abilities and structures does an octopus have that helps it survive in its environment? I want you to write at least 2 paragraphs to explain your answer, and you're going to put them on your octopus. Now, if you want to give your octopus like a smiley face and really decorate it, then you can go ahead and put your paragraphs on the back of it. It doesn't matter, okay? I just want to see the prompt on your octopus, okay? And you guys can be as creative as you want with this. So I really want you to think, okay, what did we talk about in the book? Okay, like, you know, they're able to use ink to get away from the predators, the things that they eat. Even remember things that weren't in the book. So like that they have the suction cups on their tentacles that allow them to grip onto things, okay? So use all of your knowledge now about octopi, okay? Because octopi is plural. Remember that for your prompt. It's plural. Okay, so I want you to remember all of that and put it into your prompt. And if you need help, I'll be coming around to help you guys. And I can also let you guys use the computers to look up more about octopi if you want, okay? So, get started and have fun.